Ever since the Samsung Galaxy Buds 2 came out, I was really curious to see how the various Galaxy Buds models compared with each other. As an audio engineer, these things make me curious, and I figured that a number of you were probably just as curious as I was. So in this video, I'm going to compare the Samsung Galaxy Buds Pro with the Samsung Galaxy Buds 2, the Samsung Galaxy Buds Live, sorta, I'll explain that in a moment, and I just had to include the Samsung Galaxy Buds Plus because they surprisingly stand up pretty well. And to make this video even better and experiential, I'm going to let you hear the comparative differences between them using this $2,000 binaural mic, so make sure you're wearing earbuds or headphones to listen to this video and get the full experience. We'll also hear the differences in EQ settings on most of the earbuds, so you can hear how each EQ setting changes the way things sound. By the way, this video is sponsored in part by Best Buy and their top deal section, which is regularly updated to include new items all the time from laptops, TVs, video games, PCs, cell phones, tablets, appliances, cameras, wearables, speakers, and earbuds, and more, so you'll want to check their website out regularly to see what's on sale. Just a couple weeks ago, I saw a bunch of Samsung Galaxy Buds go on sale there, so you never know when you can snag a deal on them, so check out the links in the description, and make sure you follow me on Twitter at ThisIsTechToday, because I'll tweet out when I see them on sale. We'll check out some of the other earbuds and tech that I love that's currently on sale later in the video, but if you're wondering which one you should get and which one I like the most, well, we'll find out. Let's listen to this first sample. This track is filled with a lot. Listen to the sub-frequencies, the high end from the snare, the hi-hat type sounds, and the mid-range from the synth. Now, in that sample, you probably noticed something really unusual about the Galaxy Buds Live. They're probably the most unique compared to the other Galaxy Buds because they do not have ear tips that go into your ears. This is great for those that do not like or cannot use earbuds that go into their ear canal. The downside is that it doesn't create a great seal on your ear, which affects how full the sound can be, and it's really just shooting sound into the general direction of your ear ambiently, which is why it doesn't sound all that great or full in these samples. So to be fair, for the rest of this video, we will not include the Samsung Galaxy Buds Live in the comparison because I just can't capture it as well as I had hoped. But I still want to provide some insight on what they sound like and my thoughts are as an audio engineer. So what are my observations? I'd say that they're the weakest in terms of sound, with an overall muddy sound, not a lot of solid and controlled low end, and not much high end. And the fact that they have active noise cancellation makes a little sense to me because it doesn't create a seal in your ear. So the only reason I'd suggest getting these is if you cannot or do not want an earbud that goes into your actual ear canal. Now, before we listen to the next track, it's important to know that while this microphone is amazing and provides a very cool way to hear comparative differences, it isn't a perfect method, but can still be helpful in hearing things in a way that's more sterile in terms of how it captures sound. And that's actually a good thing because your brain fills in a lot of gaps when you personally listen to things in your ears because the body's weird and cool and amazing, but the microphone captures things just the way that they are without kind of compensating for things. Perhaps you could say that's more scientific or objective. I don't know. With that said, let's listen to the next sample. In this one, listen to the low end, the reverb from the vocals and the snare, the sharpness of the hi-hat, and the stereo spread from the wah-wah sounds, and let us know in the comments what you notice. The Samsung Galaxy Buds 2 are the newest addition to the Samsung Galaxy Buds lineup. With it comes a clean and new minimal design, active noise cancellation, and confusingly, a list price of $150. Now, at that price, it seems rather confusing because the Galaxy Buds Pro go on sale quite often and close to that $150 price point. And when that's the case, it really makes less sense to get the Galaxy Buds 2. But if the Galaxy Buds 2 do go on sale on something like Best Buy's top deals for closer to $100, then it starts to make more sense. As for their sound, they're a bit brighter, airy, and clean, but they lack a lot of that low-end fullness to it, and the mid-range is a bit scooped out. It feels like it's a little bit buried, so things like guitars, piano, and voices are less full and forward and in the mix, which can feel a bit less intimate and energetic, and less full and immersive sounding as a whole. So in the samples we're about to listen to, it's very mid-rangey and warm and full, kind of analog-y sounding. Pay attention to how it may sound cleaner on the Galaxy Buds 2 in the sense that there isn't as much of that warmth and mid-range. It's been kind of cut out, but it also doesn't sound as full and even sounds a bit thin at times. Oh, and as for active noise cancelling, well, we'll talk about that regarding all of the other earbuds later on in the video. Now, speaking of the Samsung Galaxy Buds 2, let's listen to how it handles different EQ settings. You'll find that all the earbuds contain 6 different EQ profiles that you can choose from within the Samsung Galaxy Wearable app. There's the default normal, there's the bass boost, soft, dynamic, clear, and treble boost. Now, in terms of hardware design, all of the cases are glossy except for the Galaxy Buds Pro, which has a matte finish, which I definitely prefer. The Buds Plus pill shape does look a bit outdated, but it's not terrible, and I really like the looks of the Galaxy Buds Pro the most. It looks sharp, clean, and has an industrial look all at once. The Buds 2 are fantastic if you want that really clean and minimalistic look. It also comes in a ton of different color options as well if you want to be a bit more adventurous and expressive. I also don't mind the Buds Plus design, and if you can get in this really red color, I think it looks really great. As for the Buds Live, they're a bit interesting because they are shaped like beans, which is kind of funny. And that really leads towards comfort. The Buds Live are not typical earbuds, so it can be a bit confusing to figure out unless you read the instructions to see how you put them in your ear. Now, despite them having a design that doesn't go into your ear canal as much, I do find them to be rather uncomfortable to wear because it's just hard plastic resting and wedging against the different parts of your ear. But my body is not the same as your body, so this is definitely one of those you have to wear it to see if you like it kind of scenarios. I personally would not be able to wear this for hours on end. Now, the Buds 2 seem to have the narrowest driver stem of all the earbuds, so if your ear canals are a bit on the small side, you may want to keep this in mind. And just like the Buds Plus 2, it does have a kind of oval squishy shape to it. And then there's the Galaxy Buds Pro. It doesn't actually have much of a stem at all. And apparently I have fairly big ear holes, which sounds way better in the head than saying it out loud. Anyways, they feel perfectly fine in my ears, but I've heard a lot of people say that they can't even put the earbuds in their ear all the way, and it is very uncomfortable, so keep that in mind. And in my experience, I haven't had any issues with any of these earbuds falling out of my ears, so that's really good. And the Buds Plus also have a bit of a wingtip design as well to keep them secured, so that makes these a really great option if you're wearing these while being active. Okay, for this next song, pay attention to the clarity of the attack on the acoustic guitar strings and how forward the mid-range is on the body of the guitar and the vocals.
When the nights get cold, sometimes when I look over, I see you by a fire with your hands out in the open, and I wonder if you're singing autumn song, or if I'm singing all.
Now, some of you may be wondering why I included the Samsung Galaxy Buds Plus, since they're essentially outdated and do not follow Samsung's current design language and feature set for their earbuds. Well, despite their lack of active noise cancellation, I personally enjoy their mid-range forward and full sound compared to something like the Galaxy Buds 2, which kind of scoops a lot of that out. Along with that, they have a much more affordable price for what I think is a better sound quality. And what's really cool is that Samsung has added some updates to them. Even though it lacks active noise cancellation, they added a transparency mode, which is actually pretty solid. So if you don't care about active noise cancellation and having the newest look and prefer a fuller, more mid-rangey, warm sound, you should definitely consider getting the Samsung Galaxy Buds Plus. These things are a sleeper hit for those who are on a budget. Okay, for this song, it has a lot of great reverb going on. Listen to how forward the vocals sound, and if you can hear as much of the percussive instruments in the background, or if they sound really buried. This is where the mid-range can really bring out some of the instruments. The bass guitar is also a great part of the song. Now let's listen to how the Buds Plus handle different EQ settings. One of the great things about Samsung is that they tend to pack in a lot of features that, strangely, other companies don't include, like wireless charging. So that means that each of these options can both be charged through USB-C and wireless Qi charging, so it makes it super easy to keep the battery topped off throughout the day. As for battery life, the Galaxy Buds Live lasts for 6 hours on one charge with ANC on for a total of 20 hours with the case. The Galaxy Buds 2 lasts for 5 hours on one charge with ANC on for a total of 20 hours with the charging case. The Galaxy Buds Plus have 11 hours of playtime with a total of 22 hours with the charging case. Keep in mind, this one does not have active noise cancellation. And finally, the Galaxy Buds Pro lasts 5 hours on one charge with ANC on for a total of 18 hours with the charging case. That means that the Galaxy Buds Plus has the longest battery life but doesn't utilize ANC, and the Galaxy Buds Pro is the lowest but does utilize ANC. As a whole though, you'll probably be satisfied with the Galaxy Buds Pro because it'll get you through an entire waking day of listening. Alright, for this next track, listen to how clear the bass guitar is on the track as well as the electric guitar, and then listen to how bright the cymbals are in this track.
Hey, hey, Marjorie. Hey, hey, Marjorie. You know you're doing something to me. What you trying to do? What you trying to do? Hey, hey, Marjorie.
As for the microphone quality, well, how about you listen to it for yourself? Remember those Best Buy top deals? At the time of the release of this video, the Samsung Galaxy Buds aren't on sale, but the Sennheiser CX and CX Plus are on sale for $50 off. Here's what the Galaxy Buds 2 sound like. The Sennheiser Momentum 2 earbuds are $100 off and have active noise cancelling, and personally, I really like Sennheiser products. I'm even using their microphone for my videos. Here's what the Samsung Galaxy Buds Plus sound like. Even though the Samsung Galaxy Buds aren't on sale right now, Samsung Galaxy smartphones have a bunch of deals going on where you can get like a $200 Best Buy gift card for buying a Samsung Galaxy S21 FE. Here's what the Galaxy Buds Pro sound like. You can even find discounts of up to $600 on some Samsung phones with trade-ins. Of course, you can find out what deals are going on by checking out the links in the description, and thanks again to Best Buy for sponsoring a portion of this video. Okay, this next song we have a classic string ballad. Pay attention to how full the strings are, the clarity of the piano, and the space in the mix made for the strings and vocals.
The sun is going down. Your skin is like a painting. The light is perfect now, but I can feel it changing. Kids are probably soon. Don't get me wrong, I'm ready.
Now you probably already noticed this, but the Galaxy Buds Pro are far superior in sound compared to all the other earbuds in Samsung's Galaxy Bud line. It's got a nice substantial low end without being unwieldy and muddy. It's got a nice and airy top end, and the mid-range is nice and present. It also sounds very clean and full. Now a fascinating thing about sound, perception of volume and actual scientific volume measurements can be completely different. So for this next song that we'll listen to, pay attention to the meters and how they're consistent in volume between each earbud, but the Galaxy Buds Pro sound significantly louder purely because they cover more of the frequency range in a balanced way. That's kind of what mixing audio engineers are for, and the thing I've been able to do for over a decade, balance mixes for musicians. Pay attention to this wild perception of volume. It's really quite fascinating. Now let's listen to how the Galaxy Buds Pro handle different EQ settings. We'll actually go through all the options and then go back to the normal EQ profile because I find it to be the best option amongst all the others. It avoids all the issues you get from boosting or removing different frequencies like you'd find on the other EQ profiles. Let me know if you agree. Now for ANC or active noise cancellation, it's an interesting thing in consumer audio now. We have extremely varying styles and levels of ANC. There's the best of the best like that of what you'd find on Sony XM4s and the Apple AirPods Pro that use both outward and inward facing ANC, where you feel like you're in an anechoic chamber where you feel isolated and there's no reflections. Then you have ANC that only reduces noise in specific frequencies, which means that there's still a whole lot remaining. And then you have ANC that makes you feel like you're in a tunnel and seems to only be included to have another point on a spec sheet cheat, but should have never been included at all. For the Galaxy Buds Live, it honestly sounds like you just have a microphone for everything, but focused directly in front of you, and it's less full. So it's not really something to base your purchase on. For the Galaxy Buds 2, I don't even know if anything's happening. It's so insignificant, so I would just turn it off and get the extra battery life. And then the Galaxy Buds Pro at least get rid of a lot of the mid-range sound like most room tone and white noise. You can still hear people's voices, but it's really thin. It's still far from what you get on the AirPods Pro, Sony XM4s, or the Bose Quiet Comfort in terms of ANC. So it fits in the camp of being useful, but not industry leading. The plus side is that you don't feel much of that pressure at all that you can usually get with those top tier ANC options. Now this next track is from my personal friend. She's a composer, her name's Hannah Parrott. Listen to how dynamic the track sounds, and if you can hear all the layers from the horns to the various strings and melodic percussion instruments. Now, if I were to rank all these in order of the best sound quality, I'd obviously pick the Galaxy Buds Pro as number 1. Then I'd put the Galaxy Buds 2 in second place, Buds 2 in third, and then Buds Live in last place. So conveniently, that means that the top 2 are both the most expensive and the least expensive, which means you have some fantastic options depending on your budget. And if they're on Best Buy's top deals list, you can get the Galaxy Buds Pro for about the same cost as the Buds 2 at list price, so that's a steal. Let's listen to one more song, but I'd strongly recommend the Galaxy Buds Pro as long as they fit comfortably into your ears. Check out the links in the description and let me know your thoughts in the comments. This song, it really has a killer bass line in it. Pay attention to that, the synth, and the vocal reverb. Thanks for watching This Is Tech Today. Until next time.